Hi guys, my name is Simoni and this is 5th grade math with All STEM. The topic that we are covering today is operations and algebraic thinking. As always, our videos consist of 8 to 15 review questions that are time-stamped in the description box below. You can use those to skip ahead if you get a question correct. Also, please be sure to check out our links to further reference page in the description box below. It has links that will help you further your understanding of any concepts covered in today's video. Now, let's jump right into it with the first question.
Alright, let's jump right into it with question number 1. Evaluate the equation 19 minus 7 divided by 4 plus 11. We'll give you a few seconds to solve this question. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time. Okay, so the answer to this question is 14. When we are solving equations such as this one, we have an acronym that we use that's called PEMDAS. PEMDAS stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. We'll go more into it on the next slide. But using this order, if we evaluate the parentheses first, we get 19 minus 7, which is 12. Then we have to solve the division. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. Then we solve the addition, and we get our answer of 14. So PEMDAS is an acronym used to remember which order we use arithmetic operations in. It stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So when you get an expression or an equation, like we saw on the previous slide, you always use this specific order to evaluate the expression or equation. So you start with parentheses, then exponents, then you do multiplication and division, and addition and subtraction. And this is a pretty important acronym that you need to remember because it's used in like a lot of expressions and equations. So this is pretty useful. So you should try and remember this for the future. All right, so question 2. Which expression is equivalent to 6 plus 3 times 7 minus 2? And we have our 4 answer choices here. So I'll give you guys a few seconds to solve this problem. And if you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Okay, so the answer to this problem is C, 6 plus 15. All right, so we went over PEMDAS in the last slide. And PEMDAS is the order that we solve this expression in. So first we start with the parentheses because that's P, right? So 7 minus 2, that is 5. So we replace that here with 5. Then we solve the multiplication. 3 times 5 is 15. So now we have the expression 6 plus 15, and that is answer choice C. So we know that the answer is C, 6 plus 15. Okay, so question 3. Sally bought 15 chocolates at $3 each and 4 pencils at $2 each. She had $60 to spend. Write an equation to demonstrate the situation. How much money does she have left over? I'll give you guys a few seconds to solve this problem, and if you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Okay, so here is the equation, and here is the answer to how much money she had left over. All right, so we're going to explain this step by step. So first we're going to start by figuring out the equation. So in total, she has $60 to spend, right? So we're going to add that to the beginning of our equation. Then she spent $15 chocolates at $3 each. She bought those, and 4 pencils at $2 each, right? So for this part of the equation, we know that this is the amount of money that she spent on chocolates, 15 chocolates at $3 each. Then this part of the equation is how much she spent on pencils, 4 pencils at $2 each. To find the answer to this equation, all we have to do is evaluate this using PEMDAS, right? So we have 60 minus, and then in the parentheses, 15 times 3 equals 45, right? And then we also have 4 times 2 equals 8, okay? So we do 60, and then we can simplify this to 53. And that gives us the answer of 7, which is how much money she has left over. So that is the answer. Question 4. Cody tried to solve the equation 6 plus 42 divided by 2 times 3. His work is shown below in these steps over here. In which step did Cody make a mistake? I'll give you guys a few seconds to solve this problem, and if you need more time, feel free to pause the video. So the answer to this problem is step 2, and we'll go over this right now. So using PEMDAS, we first start by doing the parentheses in the equation, right? So the parentheses over here is 2 times 3. So now we can evaluate that to do 6, right? So then our resulting equation would be 6 plus 42 and then divided by 6. So that means that step 1 of Cody's work is correct. Now, the second thing that you do in PEMDAS is multiplication and division, right? So over here, we have multiplication and division, which is 42 divided by 6, right? But in step 2, Cody doesn't do 42 divided by 6, he does 6 plus 42, which is not part of PEMDAS. So that means that step 2 of Cody's work is incorrect, and that means that he gets the wrong answer. So the correct work to this problem, after step 1, he would do 6 plus, and then instead of adding 6 and 42, you would divide 42 divided by 6. 42 divided by 6 is 7, right? So that means that we would get 6 plus 7. And adding 6 plus 7 together, it gives us 13, which would be the correct answer to this problem. All right, question 5. Which expression is equivalent to 5 plus, and then in parentheses, 3 plus 6? And we have our answer choices here. So I'll give you guys a few seconds to solve this problem. Okay, so the answer to this question is B, which is 3 plus and then 5 plus 6. The only option that has the same operations and numbers as the original equation is B, which is 3 plus 5 plus 6. This is an example of the associative property, something that we will discuss later. All right, so basically, 5 plus 3 plus 6 it has all addition, and the numbers are 5, 3, and 6, right? So we know for a fact that D cannot work because 4 is in this question, and we know that 4 was never in the original equation. So now we know that A also cannot work because there is multiplication here, and there is no multiplication in the original expression. We also know that C cannot work because there's subtraction here, and there is no subtraction in the original expression, which leaves the only answer as B, which is also an example of the associative property of addition, which is something that we'll discuss later. Question 6. Fill in the blank. 5 times 3 equals blank times 5. I'll give you guys a few seconds to solve this question. All right, so the answer to this question is 3. So we have a visual representation of this question below over here that will help us understand this better, right? So 5 times 3 is equal to 3 times 5. Here we drew 5 times 3, so there were 5 groups, and there were 3 of each of these groups, right? This is one group, and there were like 3 of those groups. So that represents this. Now, we can also just divide this the other way. there are three in each group, and there are 5 of those groups. These two arrays, these are called arrays, they both have the same amount of dots in total, which is 15. So we know that the answer over here will be 3, because 3 times 5 over here is the equivalent to 5 times 3 over here. This is known as the commutative property of multiplication, which is something that we will also discuss later in this video. Alright, so this is a more in-depth explanation of each property that we just went over, right? So first we have the associative property. The associative property says that when adding or multiplying multiple numbers together, the grouping can be switched without the sum being affected. So as we saw in question 5, 5 plus and then in parentheses 3 plus 6 is the same thing as 3 plus and then 5 plus 6. This works with multiplication as well, but you can only have one type of operation in the whole expression. Like you can't have multiplication here and addition here because they can't be switched around. It has to all be addition or all be multiplication for the associative property to work. Next, we have the commutative property. The commutative property states that the terms in an addition or multiplication expression can be interchanged without changing the result. So, for example, in question 6, we saw that 5 plus 3 equals 3 plus 5. This works with addition and multiplication, but again, both sides of the equation have to have the same operation. This has to both be addition or this has to both be multiplication. Next, we have the distributive property, okay? The distributive property says that A and then in parentheses B plus C equals and then AB plus AC. So this is used in like rectangles and things like that, and it's really useful for those because you can like figure out the area using the side lengths, and it makes it a lot easier to find the area. But this is like the general principle of the distributive property, and it's pretty common. So all of these properties are like pretty useful, and you should try your best to remember these because they can be really handy when solving equations and expressions. Okay, question 7. Which expression represents the area of this rectangle? And we have our answer choices here. I'll give you guys a few seconds to solve this problem. Okay, so the answer to this problem is A, 2 and then times 2 plus 3. We know that the formula for calculating the area of a rectangle is a length multiplied by the width, right? And this is the length of our rectangle, and this is the width, okay? So we have the length as 2 plus 3, right? And we have the width as 2. So if we just multiply the width times the length, then we get our answer of A, which is 2 times 2 plus 3. This is called the distributive property, and we will go more into this in the next slide. Question 8. Terry catches 4 fish every day, and Sam catches 2 fish every day. Terry's fish is always twice the amount of Sam's fish, and they both start with 0 fish. How many fish do they each have after 5 days? Make a table and a graph to represent the fish that Terry and Sam catch. So I'll give you guys a few seconds to solve this problem, and if you need more time, then just pause the video. Alright, so the answer to this problem is in 5 days, Sam has 10 fish and Terry has 20 fish. So we both know that they both start at 0 fish. And each day, Terry catches 4 fish while Sam catches 2. So we can make a table demonstrating this relationship, which is right here. So we both know that they both start at 0, right? And they both have 0 fish on day 0. On day 1, Sam catches 2 fish while Terry catches 4. Since Sam catches 2 every day, we just keep on adding 2, right? But since Terry catches 4 every day, you keep on adding 4 as the days continue, right? So now let's graph it, okay? So this is the graph that shows the relationship between Sam and Terry's fish. And the graph shows that since Terry catches 4 fish a day, while Sam only catches 2, Terry always has twice as many fish as Sam. So on day 1, we can see that Sam is orange and Terry is pink, right? So on day 1, Sam has 2 fish and Terry has 4 fish, which is shown right here in the table, right? So then on day 2, Sam has 4 fish and Terry has 8 fish, which is shown also here in the table. And it keeps on going until day 5, when Sam has 10 fish and Terry has 20 fish. So we can see that Terry always has twice as many fish as Sam, because every day when Sam catches 2, Terry catches double that, which is 4. And Terry's fish increase at a higher rate each day since she catches more per day. Question 10. Complete the table. What is the rule? Write an algebraic expression. So this table has the days that have passed and the amount of money that has been earned or collected by whoever, right? So for this, you just need to fill in the missing values for each table and then write an algebraic expression for how the amount of money progresses by the number of days. All right, so I'll give you guys a few seconds to solve that problem. Okay, so here are all the missing values, right? So we can figure out that, okay, each day, one more day progresses, right? So we can easily figure out that this is supposed to be 3 since it's after 2. This is 6 and this is 8. We can fill those out just by using counting, right? And so we have a few pairs here, right? So we have days. On the second day, there's $8. On the 4th day, there's $16, and on the 5th day, there's $20. All right, so right here, 1 day has progressed, and there have been 4 more dollars earned, right? So using this, we can figure out that every single time, the step will be increasing the amount of money by 4. So using that, we can figure out the rest of the values on the table just by adding or subtracting 4, right? And so if we take days as D and money as M, the rule will be as follows. M equals 4D. So we already figured out that each day the money goes up by $4, right? So we know that the money is equal to 4 times the day number, right? Since right here, 4 and then on day 1, right? So this will be 4 and then this will be 1. And so we know that for each thing, the amount of money will be 4 times the number of the day. So we can use that to get this equation for this relationship, which is M equals 4D.
If you thought those questions were a good review, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more. Feel free to comment below any questions that you may have. As I said before, please remember to check out our links for further reference page. Thanks, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.